So Highland Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Puyan, and we're in Scary Kids, Scary Kids.
There's some questions to say about the new album, Maps Written in Water. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to it so far?
Thanks, it's feeling great. Yeah, a lot of exciting reactions to the music and to all the other features.
Hell yeah. Well,
Hell yeah.
the album absolutely rips. I've been digging this one a lot for sure.
It is immaculate. Wonderful job.
Thank you. Appreciate
Of
it.
course.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, totally. I think past couple of albums we've been writing with a lot of different vocalists and kind of finding our path. And in the writing process, this has been a lot of not knowing exactly what the direction or end, or end location is, but just really enjoying the process and going along with it and doing what feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And any meme around the cover art?
So yeah, it's just a reflection of that, right? So you see, yeah, without it's that.
Okay.
Just visually.
Yeah, it's that meaning visually.
It's
I
that
gotcha.
in picture form.
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. Check.
Right.
I know you mentioned you guys kind of feel like you've been, finding your way, not sure where the end goal is. With this record, do you feel like you're getting closer to like the end result of where you kind of envision this project heading in its current state?
Yeah, I think so. I think, that's also to be loosely interpreted, right? I think the way that we write any album or concept is that we'll see what kind of comes up in the writing process, and then we'll kind of create the meaning after the fact, right? And what we've really noticed in these writing sessions is lyrically, specifically, the music writing process is slightly different, but lyrically, and with a lot of these guest vocalists, what we're finding is that a lot of people that we've been chatting with have been having issues with identity, issues with music, and their role in music. And that's something obviously that resonates with us as a band that's coming back, having been around, and then finding where we kind of fit in this new scene. And also with obviously with a big piece missing with Tyson gone and having trying to figure out what the new shape and form of that band is as well. So those things kind of came out not only for us, but also with a lot of the vocalists who we're writing with and trying to figure out where it goes. And it's kind of been a subtle, not necessarily an anxiety, but kind of a question mark and something that has been battling with our continued joy of getting to write with our friends, being back, having an absolute blast. And the question of what does it mean to define yourself and to what extent and how important is that? And ultimately, I think this whole writing process and the end outcome of it is just to not think too deeply into it. And when you're having a great time, everything falls into place.
Mhm.
So just create, 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 and then let all the meaning and the definition and all those kind of what I think are somewhat unnecessary anxieties kind of let themselves fall into place and just enjoy the ride.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. So is that kind of how you approached this album rollout as well, where it's just kind of like if we had fun, we had fun, just let whatever happen happen?
Yeah, I think so. I think since we've come back, it's all about having a good time and making sure that you know that when we're out there, it's just about bringing the best show that we have that day to the people who are there in the room with us,
Mm.
and not worrying too much about all the minor details.
Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
sure.
So can you guys tell us a little bit about the writing process for the album?
Chad, why don't you take over?
Sure. So yeah, we actually did the entire album right here in this room for this album,
Mhm.
uh, which has been awesome. First time getting to actually produce a full album. I've done like little songs here and there, but to actually take the reins on this one was quite the experience.
Mhm.
But we basically kind of start our songs with just like a little snippet of an idea that I'll just kind of create maybe 30, 45 seconds of something, bring it to the guys, or sometimes even a full thing.
Mhm.
Um, but really just kind of like I want to gauge exactly how, you know, what Puyan thinks, where we should take this. So it'll start out with a little snippet of a song, and then we'll just kind of take it from there, and then we'll top line it with some vocal ideas, and then kind of leave it there for a bit and come back to it later to see, all right, is this kind of makes sense to us in the full aspect of the album. So
Yeah.
a lot of times we'll have, you know, for this album, I think we wrote probably 25 songs plus. So
Yeah.
we kind of get to really sift through all of them and be like, which ones do we kind of want to kind of use? And you know, we definitely like to throw some odd ones out there sometimes and
Yeah.
be a little bit more creative and I don't know, just something that's more interesting, not just the same sound over and over.
Yeah, that's what keeps it
Absolutely.
exciting.
Mhm.
So the writing process starts with you two, and then I guess once you guys kind of decide that you're going to move ahead with the song, that's when you bring in the vocalist to. Do they write their part, and that's when they come into the fold?
Yep. So Chad will have basically the whole kind of buffet in front of us, and I'll say,
Mhm.
all right, what do we want this meal to look like? I hate metaphors like that.
No, that was great. That was great. We love food here.
Uh, so so you'll get all the ingredients, and we're like, all right, what do we want this to look like? And then based on those tracks, and whether there's some vocalists we really wanted to write with, whether they're well known or whether they're people who we've toured with who are lesser known, or people that we just really like, who regardless, we kind of identify which vocalist would be right for the track.
Mhm.
And sometimes melodies are shaped, with a lot of the tracks. Sometimes they're shaped, sometimes they're not. But we'll reach out to a vocalist and we'll say, hey, we think these 3, 4 songs would be great for you. We'd love to hear which one you connect with. And if you connect with it, and if you'd be interested in collaborating, and if they vibe it too, if there are any of those tracks that really, they're like, yes, this is the one. Okay, cool. And then we'll sit in on a writing session, and then they'll either and it really it's like based on the vocalist to the level that they want to contribute. If they're like, hey, I have a melody idea for it, awesome, they'll jump in. If not, we'll create a melody and then we'll bring it to them. And then lyrics, ideally, we really do want to work with them to see if they have an idea, because we think it's great to bring their voice and passion to it. So if they don't have any ideas, or if they aren't feeling inspired, we'll do like a session. We'll say, all right, hey, like, what are you thinking about lately, or whatever.
Mhm.
And sometimes they'll come in and be like, nope, I've got it. I'm good. I'll like, I've got a vibe. I want to put this all together. Cool. But in most cases, when that doesn't happen, I think more often than not, we'll sit down and do some kind of creative session, and they'll come together. At least the ideation of it will come together, and then depending on how that works, a part of it, or whatever portion that is comes together from then, and it'll be kind of a collaborative thing.
Gotcha, makes sense.
Gotcha.
And Chad, I know you mentioned this was your first time kind of taking on a full body of work as a producer. You've worked on some smaller things in the past, but first time taking the full stab. Curious what you were feeling going into it. Nervous, anxious, happy, excited. Kind of get the full scope of what you're feeling going into things.
Oh man, all of the above for
Okay.
sure. Definitely very stoked and happy to be doing it. But being the first time, obviously super nervous,
Mhm.
second guessing myself, like, am I doing the right thing? Should I be working with someone else that knows what they're doing? And then,
Mhm.
um, but then after seeing how everything kind of turns out in the end, it definitely gives you a lot more confidence knowing, okay, I could do this. So then as the as we progress through the album, by the last song, I'm just like, I know exactly what I want. And confidence is all there. Things are sounding great. So definitely all of the above, though. I went through every single emotion,
Oh,
and I'm glad that we did it, though.
Yeah.
It
Hell
was
yeah.
yeah,
a great,
great.
great process.
That's great. Hell yeah. So, what song off the album took the longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
Well, so I'd say Rise and Fall, which is the last track on the album, that went through multiple different variations. So that was actually a song that we kind of had for the last album, but it didn't sound anything like that. It was like pop punk, kind of like happy
Oh shit.
sounding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we decided to take the vocals to that and just rewrite all of the instruments completely
Hmm.
and just took a completely different turn. So that one was probably the longest, just kind of because it's been, 3 years since we've probably written it, but all the different variations. It went through a couple different variations as well. Like I changed the chorus at first, and then I was just like, I don't know, maybe we should just go with a whole new direction and just scrap the whole thing.
Mm.
Um, Other than that, ones that I loved writing, I think State of Disrepair was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Just totally like our old school vibe, but kind of modernized it and
Yep.
Yep.
um, throwing that solo at the end was just my favorite thing ever.
Mhm.
It's just like we need to shred. We need solos.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Best way to end a song.
Yeah. Puyon favorite.
Yeah, mine I think is Life on Alive, only because it's the most different on the album. I
Hmm.
think the biggest curveball from what we've written, and we also got to write it in Joshua Tree, which was a lot of fun. We were there there was like some kind of hurricane happening, so we had to leave a bit early, which is odd to have a hurricane in Joshua Tree. But we planned a whole weekend session. We got this one song out, and it was really cool. And then we had to dip out, and we'll usually have songs like that are ready, just hey, let's just keep writing, 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 creative on block. No idea is a bad idea. And they usually kind of get left on the cutting room floor, right? Because we're like, stylistically, it doesn't make sense. But then when we showed a few songs to Tony, and he was like, oh, this is the vibe. And we're like, yeah, I mean, for his style too, I think he really connected with it.
Hmm.
Just
And
to
it was
clarify, it was all you needed.
all you needed. I
Yeah.
said life
Yeah,
float on, didn't
yeah,
I?
yeah. All
Yeah,
you,
my
yeah.
bad. All you needed. Sorry, all you needed. That's the one with the bongos and the kind of Spanish style guitar.
Yeah.
So total departure from the kind of stuff that we've been able to include in the album, and it was great to see that come to life. And yeah, just really happy to be able to release something in that style.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was also my personal favorite, so great pick.
So how'd the tracklist for your album come about? Did you guys write the opener with the opener, closer be the closer, shuffle and see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, so for each album, what we usually do is we'll write all the stuff, pick our favorite tracks, and then once vocals and everything's kind of nearing its end point, once like everything's pretty much locked, then we'll start shaping it around into where we think the best album flow is. And so that's what we did with this guy too. They usually follow a pretty similar structure, so it's starting to like be a very consistent theme. Starting out heavy, ending with a ballad, having a lull in the middle. But yeah, we I really like this.
Yeah, nice formula going.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same on all of our albums for sure.
Yeah.
We come out with a bang. There's like the little ballad valley in the middle, and then at the end we have that total piano ballad ender, something big, something epic.
Big
Mhm.
crescendo. Hell yeah.
Damn straight. And would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating the record?
I mean, the whole of the album probably took about 2 years of us writing, so
Mm-hmm.
kind of all over the place,
Right.
depending on the time. But um, I'm always pretty positive, so
Mm.
um, I'm just having fun doing it all. So my head's always in a good spot.
Just enjoying it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same for you, Puyon?
Same. Yeah. Yeah. Usually we'll go in and we'll just kind of, I don't know, like therapy session, but like 10 minutes of what's going on with everyone's life. And by the end of the session, it's just you feel so creatively fulfilled. Like every time we're done with the session, because they're usually like weekenders or a day stint, and I'm always left kind of fully inspired and ready to do so much more. Quite different than the way that we used to write, where we lock ourselves away for maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and right, and then have an album at the end of it. So basically, like any creative idea we would have in the past was exhausted. Now it's like you start the spark, and then and then you have to step away from it.
Yeah.
Did you guys struggle at all with like that adjustment of obviously the previous records being lock yourself in a room for a month and a half, and then you came back and it was like these weekend where it's like it kind of blips of creativity when you get the time. Did you guys struggle at all with that transition?
I should say that that's for me. Chad, because he has a studio in his
Mhm.
house, probably has a different approach to what how he gets to experience it.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
definitely different for me, being that I get to continue working on it
Mhm.
and then also continue writing new ideas in the meantime until we get to meet up again.
Oh. So then
So
I'll
it's
point
kind
that question just at you, Puyan.
yeah, yeah, I think so. I loved, I mean, look, if we could do a month and a half, 2 months right now and lock ourselves up in Joshua Tree,
Mhm.
I think we'd be all game, right?
Mhm.
In fact, I've since gotten a house out in Joshua Tree and we're going out there in a couple weekends to start writing on the next album.
Oh
So
yeah,
really excited for that. And it's only going to be a couple days, but in my opinion, that's the best way to write. If you can really fully silo yourself in a creative environment and kind of fully get out every single idea that you have inside of you until you kind of need to, regenerate and go back in the world and have more experiences, then I think that's really the way to go.
gotcha.
For
Oh yeah.
sure. And Chad, I'm curious because you didn't have the ability to escape from the record, you were kind of locked away with it for the 2 years you were working on it. Did you have any challenges or issues with kind of like taking any steps back, maybe getting a little too close, a little absorbed in the process instead of, like nitpicking, all that type of shit?
um yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes to be fully satisfied and like
Mm-hmm.
know when to kind of like step away
Mm-hmm.
and be like, okay, this is it. This is how it should be.
Yeah.
Being more like hands-on and the, producer for the album. Like, I don't know, I kind of struggled with that a little bit. Because usually when we would come into the studio, there'd be a few of us, writing the album. And, I go in, I do my parts, and then now it's Puyan's turn. I'm done,
Mhm.
Yeah. Check.
Yeah, where this just never really kind of ended for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I enjoy it. I
Yeah.
enjoy it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is certain times where, you know, you get a little burnt out and
Mm-hmm.
just need to kind of step away from something for a little amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
it
Okay,
didn't it
good.
didn't happen too much for me
Mm.
at times, but not much.
Gotcha.
Okay, good. I'm glad you did have like the self-restraint to know when to step away because we talk to a lot of artists who work on their own music and they really don't have that limit or the gauge of like, I need to take a step back. They usually just keep going and going until they drive themselves insane.
Totally. You need
Yeah.
that little moment to kind of not even think about the song. And then when you come back to it, like yeah, neither new ideas will hit you, or you could just be like, cool, that was great the way it is. That's
Yeah,
awesome. I think I'm done.
exactly.
Absolutely.
But you
No.
need like a moment of like of nothing,
Mm-hmm.
like almost like I was saying, like almost just forget about the song. And like when you
Mm-hmm.
come back, it's a whole new thing to you again.
Exactly. Breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should you do in the car with friends and dark with headphones on? Is a workout album, party album? What do you guys personally recommend?
Headphones, track one to track whatever.
12.
We got 12 tracks on this.
Yeah.
Well,
12.
To the end.
do 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously headphones is best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, there's a couple songs in there I guess could be I don't want to say party song, but like, you and a bunch of your friends get to be like, let me show you this rockin' song. Probably the more of the rockin' ones.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine a group of guys getting together being like, dude, you gotta check out this piano ballad, dude.
Shit goes crazy. And this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your heads, I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, six total, no more, no less.
Diverse,
Okay. Yeah.
fun, and Huyan, you give me two, and I'll think about my third.
It's super fun.
It's that I didn't give you much time.
Those are your 3 words?
Yeah, yeah.
Fun.
It works.
It's true.
Back at you, Chad.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah.
How
There you go.
beautiful.
Love it.
Yes.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I really just kind of want people to be open to listening to this, not as like, oh, this band doesn't have a singer and, each song is so different from another, you know. I think that I would like people to listen to it as in like being more open to being like, this is what best served this song is with this vocalist, and not that, it's so different from each other. Like, take it as as a cool experience that not every band gets to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I think it's a great opportunity. I think we had a lot of chances to write specific types of music, and if someone comes into this kind of uh, understanding that that form of creative expression gets to exist here for Scary Kids, and that's super exciting. Open mind, basically.
Absolutely.
For sure. And are you guys able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the album, positive or negative?
Really, my only challenges was trying to, like, because I have a job where I'm working outside, and I live out here in Arizona in the summer.
Oof.
So I'd be working all day from like sunrise to about, I don't know, 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon. And then I'd come back, and then Puyan's at my house with a couple of the other guys, and I'd be like fried from my entire day,
Yeah.
literally coming home sunburnt and being like, all right, let's record for the rest of the night, and just
Yeah.
trying to have the energy. Which some nights I didn't, but
Mhm.
that was kind of challenging, was doing my normal job. That I mean, I think it was more just if we were doing some of those sessions not in the summer, no problem.
Mhm.
It's easy to,
Yeah.
yeah. But try to deal with 115 and like for 8 hours straight, and then go to a session.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Heat is disgusting. And it's Arizona, so I know it's like dry heat too. God.
Yeah, just like an oven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So for this question, I want you guys to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
There are these really good new like pickles, like different flavored pickles. And then they have like the new little nerd balls, like not nerd ropes, but like
Yeah, the clusters.
clusters, yeah.
Yep.
And those two
That's
for
solid.
me. And like and then Gator Light, like the Gator Light Pedialyte stuff.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
that.
That's fine.
Monster, zero sugar, the white
Yep.
cans.
Oh yeah.
And then spicy Doritos. Everything bad for you is pretty much
It
really,
doesn't count. You're on tour.
really good on tour.
Exactly. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Lasagna,
Okay.
because
I'm gonna say right now it's tapas. Tapas.
okay, small
We got a
portions.
bunch of samples of small portions.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Very different tasting.
that's why I was kind of going with the layers.
Yeah, that's
We're
what I
all
was
we're all
seeing.
very different.
I'm seeing the vision on both though.
Exactly.
We're in the same place.
You're in the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same wavelength.
Same restaurant that serves lasagna and tapas.
He just
It's a little
loves
confusing,
he just
but
loves
it's great.
Mediterranean food. So
I'm Mediterranean. I love Mediterranean.
What's not to love?
Great.
Ooh, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. And for the last couple questions, going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
My mind went straight to Death Row Records, so I gotta recalibrate.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm
Not
sorry.
the first one.
I'm straight up steak and potatoes
Classic.
with as tall of an IPA as you can get.
There you go, breaking records.
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm
I
gonna
can only
say
have one drink, so I'm gonna make it big.
Might as well, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna say lubia polo, which is a Persian dish
Mhm.
that my grandma used to make, and yeah, I think that's my favorite.
Okay. What does that consist of?
A bunch of little green beans and like little chunks of beef and a
Hmm.
bunch of rice.
Oh,
So I think it depends on like which region you're from, but that's they might have like slight variants of like how you make the rice and stuff. That's how my grandma used to make it.
that sounds delicious. Hell yeah. All right. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
There's this there are a lot of these studies happening in the UK right now where they're doing intravenous DMT studies where people can do it for like 30 minutes. They're
Oh.
reporting similar experiences where you might see so like they're talking about these like crystalline forms of these like geometric shapes and similar characters that
Mhm.
all exist simultaneously. I'm really curious about what exists in this universe that we can't observe with our current senses. And
Yeah.
so I'd love to exist in that space
Mhm.
to understand what's going on there,
The DMT.
happening, why are people reporting similar things
Mhm.
from a drug-induced experience by changing your like physical chemical composition. I mean, that's it's really curious to me. So I think that's the space that I'd go to. But the feeling of being high does not like in that way does not seem appealing to me at all. So
Mm-mm.
I'd like to visit there without that sensation of the fear and all those other things that come with a
The
trip like that.
paranoia.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I visit.
Yeah. That's so dope. I haven't heard of that study, but that's extremely interesting.
I think
That's
it's
really
yeah,
cool.
it's super new and don't take my word for it. Definitely look into it deeper. But yeah, UK study, IV drip that allows it to last longer
Hmm.
than it usually does to research it. But
Hmm.
Very interesting.
Well, that sounds fun.
What about you, Chad?
I was just gonna say I'd like to be in like a Final Fantasy game or something.
There you go.
Can't go wrong with that. Yeah.
Let me just be somewhere with swords and magic.
Hmm. What
Yeah.
more could you
and
need?
how I imagine that space to be too. Crystal castles.
Yeah. Crystal. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I've thought about this in the last question. Every single person we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Green.
Ooh.
Purple.
Ooh.
Both very
Hell
solid
yeah.
colors. Oh
Party.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Just love for you to listen to the new album. Got some killers on there. Um, People like Cat from Holy Wars, Taylor Hanson, um, our buddy Paul Rose killed it. But yeah, just love you to
Toby
listen to that.
Morrell, Emery,
Emery,
Mm.
love that one.
Albert
Mm.
Schweitzer.
Yes, sir. Just, just check it.
Check it.
Check it.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you. Sounds guys. Been Scary Kids, Scaring Kids, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.